Breaking news. Ethereum is about to break its all-time highs and close on the hourly chart. Bitcoin has also made significant moves upwards and onwards. And let's get into the chart and see what's going on. Ethereum looks like it's going to break the previous closure and close. It's 2 minutes. It's about to confirm a closure on high volume. You see this extremely high volume. That's market acceptance. That's a lot of people transacting, and that the bulls have the momentum right now. Now let's double check Bitcoin as well, because Bitcoin, I was about to create a different video, and Bitcoin has a similar chart. This was the previous high, but it wasn't a closure. This was just where price ultimately got up to. Resistance you see on both sides, and then if you zoom in here, this is about 60,000 all-time highs for Bitcoin on a 1 hour closure, and this is for Bitstamp, with 61,604. At the wick, at the highest that it went, it's about 61,787. I am going to place a bar here so that we know, at least this is for the hourly. It wasn't on a daily closure, so that we can see this on the other side. So we're gonna see if this previous trend lines hold up. It's moving fast too. This is one of the things that happens inside cryptocurrency. If you're not inside a trade and you miss this, maybe you're out and about, you could miss this whole momentum upswing, especially if you see it broke here and you're like, okay, is this gonna break above this line? It closed right at that line, and then it just skyrocketed afterwards, which is about $1,749. Let's see if this continues to hold, and if this hourly is going to continue to keep going upwards and onwards and then break all-time highs, or is it going to hit this resistance and stay there, or hit this resistance and come back down. I'm going to keep monitoring this level right here. As you can see, it's trying to get pushed above there. It's pushing, and then it's getting sold at this level. So this is still continued to be, historically, this trend line is a sell point. 4 hour closure still has time, so we'll continue to monitor this for Bitcoin and Ethereum. But Ethereum has broken all-time highs, and now it's in price discovery. We'll see where it ultimately ends up. Oh, it's getting sold. So this looks like this could be potential resistance, which makes sense because it's close to 2,200, and that's just a nice psychological round number. So we'll see. I'm gonna place a trend line here, even though there's not 3 yet. I'm just gonna continue to monitor this. I'll continue to create content around this and seeing where Ethereum and Bitcoin potentially go from here. So I was about to record a different video until I looked up at the corner, and you can see that Bitcoin is now trading at over $60,000, $60,400, 370. And I was gonna make a video on NFTs and the whole narrative and explaining that a little bit more, but now I'm gonna go and record this instead and talk about the trade. This is gonna be behind the trade again. I talked about this in an earlier video where I was underwater with my trade, and opportunity cost was about 1,500 with a trade that I was waiting on. Because we're in a bull market, this actually switched faster than I thought it would. And when you look at this chart, you can see here is where the trade was earlier. It's just been green all the way through. I just got my COVID shot, and I haven't been monitoring this because I thought it was going to trade sideways for a while. I did get an alert that it was above this level, and I thought nothing of it. But as you can see, it just kept getting bought up, and there's high volume, especially on these last two. So that means agreement within the market. Here's the daily. So from where it closed earlier, the 8,000, which was still $700 underneath where my trade was, now we're in profit about 16, a little over 1600. It just shows to you inside a bull market that the market moves fast. If you have the ability to be able to set alarms to notify you this, because the only reason I knew about it was because I was looking at my trading view in the corner over there, looking at my trading view, and I was like, wait, what? Bitcoin is over 60,000. And then now it's like, okay, maybe I exit some of these trades because it looks like it's moving pretty fast. So this is gonna be sentiment analysis. This is basically, sentiment is a tool that aggregates all of the Twitter data, social media data, and has a way to weight it and then figure out the overall emotional sentiment of the market for any asset, or almost any asset, as long as it's within inside their database. So we're gonna check Bitcoin right now and see what is going on. I charted this basically because I want to see when there's extreme euphoria to double check that I get out and I start releasing my positions at that moment as one of the big macro indicators. As you can see, still in the negative, which is a good sign because that's an accumulation phase. Or in theory, it's an accumulation phase. You want to accumulate when there's generally negative Twitter sentiment, and then when there's too much euphoria, that means that it's pumping way too hard and that there's potential, not always, but a potential crash correction coming soon. This I'll wait on the daily. I'm gonna switch this down to the 15-minute. Okay, so still negative sentiment. I'll consider taking off part of my position, but right now I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till this settles and then retest these areas. Yeah, we'll see where this goes. I'm gonna continue to monitor at the 15-minute. I'll probably set a stop loss. I'll probably set an imaginary stop loss probably at this level, which is still $1,000 trade. So I'm gonna set at that level, but I'm gonna continue monitoring this and see if this ever comes back down. And then what I'll probably end up doing is I'll gradually move this up if this trend continues upwards and onwards. Because if you see on lower time frames, this is the RSI, this is stochastic, so short term, long term, price momentum, upwards, onwards, hourly, pointed up. This is inside the bullish control zone. 4 hour, same thing. 12 hour, then the daily. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set an alert right here, and actually I'm gonna set the alert at the 15-minute. This is gonna be part of my early warning system to let me know to check the prices, and I'm also gonna set a stop loss. So here I'm gonna do it only per bar close because it's on the 15-minute. I'm gonna keep track of the sentiment until it turns to a higher positive level, start signaling that it's potentially nearing its peak, which I'm going to use in confluence with with all of these different indicators on the shorter time frames to give me like an early warning system to confirm if there is a change in sentiment, if people are getting too hyped, and if there is a potential with everything else for it to start dipping again. Yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. But this is good news. This just shows that when you're in a bull market, things move fast. And you can be a dumb bull in a bull market and still make money and make mistakes and still be profitable. This is essentially what happened when I first started trading Bitcoin in 2018. If I made a bad trade, I would just hold, because in the long run, I believe that Bitcoin would be worth a lot of money. And so if I made a big mistake on trading on the longer time frame swing trading, I would just hold on to it until it did something like this. And this corrected a lot faster, or had upwards momentum a lot faster than I thought it would, which is good news. Sometimes it breaks in your favor for a while. I thought it was going to trade sideways, but this is why I don't trade my opinion. What I'm looking at is I'm going to look for it to top off, and I'm going to look for it to retest the broken resistance and then come back to support and see if it bounces off from there. If it breaks, and I'm looking at all of these different indicators and they're also signaling downwards momentum on the shorter time frames, I'm going to monitor at the higher time frames. Then I'm going to make some judgment calls on if I should stay in the trade or if I shouldn't stay in the trade as well as double checking with sentiment. Is there too much euphoria signaling that it potentially could come down and dip a little bit? It's not a perfect indicator by itself, because you hear there's a bunch of euphoria right here, and then you see the downward trend. So it's not a perfect indicator by itself, but at least it's something to keep in context and confluence with other things. But this is good news. This is good news. I'll be able to start trading more on this, and then we'll see where this ultimately settles. Subscribe to get up to date behind the scenes of trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, and up to date crypto news. Like the video if you like the video. Cheers. Talk soon. Take care. Bye.